And we are getting into the biggest story, not just for the day, but one that we've been focusing on for the whole week. The Trump tariff and threats. Thus, Donald has delivered another big blow to Bharat. After announcing an extra 25% tariff on India, the total tariff now stands at 50%. Trump has threatened to impose secondary sanctions in addition to that. Trump also hinted that U.S. administration could impose more similar sanctions on China. U.S. has imposed the sanctions as a penalty for continued import of Russian oil, bringing the total tariff to a staggering 50%. Penalty tariff will take effect in 21 days. However, India has hit back sharply, saying that U.S. targeting of India over Russian oil imports is unfair, unjustified and unreasonable. Not just that, it has also made it clear that it will take all necessary steps to protect its national interests. Meanwhile, sources have told India today that India is ready to counter Trump's tariff tyranny. Government sources have suggested that the Prime Minister's office will review the impact of Trump's new tariffs with the Ministry of External Affairs and Commerce Ministry officials. And the government sources have also clarified energy reports, including Russian oil, remain unaffected and that the tariffs are not being seen as a strategic threat. This is where we stand. Let's take a look as to what Donald Trump had to say on the matter.
India penalties, do you have any similar plans to enact more tariffs on China as it relates to their purchases?
Could happen. Depends on how we do. Could happen.
There are other countries that are buying Russian oil.
It's okay.
Like China, for instance,
It's
buys
okay.
more.
Yeah.
Why are you singling India out for these additional sanctions?
It's only been 8 hours. So let's see what happens over the next.
Sanctions
you're going to see a lot more.
So this is a taste of
You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanctions.
You know, China has not stood out there and refused to let President Trump take credit for his role in the ceasefire. China has not had its leader have a long conversation with Trump on the phone and essentially dictate to him, well, what's right and what's wrong. These are things that happen with India. And so I think that that's why perhaps President Trump would reserve some of his greatest ire on the trade and tariff front for India and for the Indian government. Indeed, it's a double standard, it's hypocritical, whatever you want to say, but I do think that that might help explain why India, which is, has been such a close partner of the U.S., has been singled out for particularly harsh treatment by the U.S. president. Unfortunately, given just how the relationship has been developing in recent days, this new announcement is not all that surprising, and the president has also appeared very committed to following through with tariffs. And in that sense, despite the potential impact, the damaging impact this could have on the U.S.-India relationship, it's not that much of a surprise to me that in the end the president decided to follow through on his threat to impose this additional penalty. I think that this is the worst crisis that the relationship has faced over the last 2 decades of strategic partnership. I would argue that there is potential for this relationship to be salvaged, not just because of the natural shared interests and the strategic convergences and all that, but this is a relationship that is multifaceted and has many different areas of cooperation that play out on parallel tracks and have the insulation to withstand shocks to the broader relationship.
Now, here is where the irony lies. RBI governor has categorically stated that India contributes more to the global economy than the United States. Listen in to what he had to say.
You are all aware we have a very robust growth rate, 6.5%. And in fact, as per IMF, 6.4% and 3% growth rate of the world, when they look at that, we are contributing about 18%, which is more than US, where the contribution is expected to be much less, at about, I think, 11% or something. So we are doing very well, and we will continue to further improve.